what if I told you that every rupee in your bank account, every promotion you've earned, every dream you've achieved started with just one thing, a single thought in your mind? Napoleon Hill spent over 20 years studying more than 500 of the world's most successful people. Andrew Carnegie, Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, the Rockefellers. He discovered something incredible. Success isn't about luck or connections or being born into the right family. It's about understanding how your mind works. And today, we're going to break down his masterpiece, Think and Grow Rich, in a way that will change how you think about success forever. Hill discovered one core truth that separates the wealthy from everyone else. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Sounds simple, right? But here's the thing. Most people never truly understand what this means. They think it's just positive thinking or wishful dreaming. It's not. It's a scientific approach to programming your mind for success. See, your brain is like a radio transmitter. It's constantly sending out signals based on your dominant thoughts. And here's what's fascinating. The universe responds to these signals. Successful people know this. They've learned to control their mental frequency. They broadcast success, and success finds them. But here's where most people go wrong. They want success, but their thoughts are scattered. One day they're thinking about making money, the next day they're worried about bills. One moment they're visualizing their dream life, the next they're complaining about their current situation. Your mind can't work with mixed signals. Think of it like this. If you're trying to tune into your favorite radio station, but you keep changing the frequency, what happens? You get static, noise, nothing clear comes through. That's exactly what happens when your thoughts aren't focused. You get static results. Hill studied people who went from nothing to everything, and he found they all had one thing in common. They started with desire. Not just wanting something, not hoping for something, burning obsessive desire that consumed their thoughts day and night. Every great achievement in history started with someone who wanted something so badly they couldn't think about anything else. The Wright brothers didn't just want to fly, they were obsessed with flight. Steve Jobs didn't just want to make computers, he was obsessed with changing the world through technology. That level of desire is what separates dreamers from achievers. But here's the crucial part. Desire without direction is just daydreaming. Hill discovered that successful people follow a specific process to turn their desires into reality. They don't just want something vaguely. They get specific, extremely specific. First, they decide exactly what they want. Not just more money, exactly how much money. Not just a better job, exactly what position, at which company, with what responsibilities. Vague goals produce vague results. Specific goals produce specific results. Second, they decide what they're willing to give in return. Nothing in life is free. Success demands payment. But here's what most people don't realize. The payment isn't always money. Sometimes it's time. Sometimes it's learning new skills. Sometimes it's giving up old habits that don't serve you. Successful people know exactly what they're willing to sacrifice for their goals. Third, they set a deadline. Goals without deadlines are just wishes. Your mind needs urgency to take action. When you tell your brain, I want this by this specific date, something magical happens. Your subconscious starts working 24/7 to make it happen.
Fourth, they create a definite plan, not a rough idea, a step-by-step blueprint. They break down their big goal into smaller, actionable steps. They know exactly what they need to do today, this week, this month to move closer to their target. Fifth, they write it all down. There's something powerful about putting pen to paper. When you write your goals, you're making a contract with yourself. You're telling your subconscious mind, this is serious, this is real, this is happening. And sixth, they read their written goals every single day with complete faith that they'll achieve them. This isn't just reading words on paper, this is programming your mind. You're feeding your subconscious the exact instructions for what you want to create in your life. Now let's talk about faith. Not religious faith, but faith in yourself and your ability to achieve your goals. Hill discovered that faith is like the head chemist of your mind. It takes your thoughts and desires and transforms them into their physical equivalent. Your subconscious mind doesn't judge your thoughts. It doesn't decide whether they're good or bad, realistic or unrealistic. It simply accepts whatever you feed it repeatedly and works to make it real. If you constantly think about failure, your subconscious will find ways to create failure. If you constantly think about success, it will find ways to create success. This is where most people sabotage themselves. They set a goal, but then they spend most of their time thinking about why it won't work. They visualize their success for 5 minutes, then worry about failure for the rest of the day. Your subconscious doesn't care about your 5 minutes of positive thinking. It responds to your dominant thoughts. Successful people have learned to control their mental diet. They feed their minds with thoughts of success, achievement, and abundance. They see themselves already having achieved their goals. They feel the emotions of success before success arrives. This isn't pretending or lying to yourself. This is training your mind to recognize and create opportunities. Here's a powerful technique Hill discovered. Mix your thoughts with emotion and they become incredibly powerful. Thoughts alone are weak, but thoughts charged with emotion become magnetic. They attract circumstances, people, and opportunities that align with what you're thinking about. When you visualize your success, don't just see it, feel it. Feel the excitement of achieving your goal. Feel the pride of overcoming challenges. Feel the gratitude for the life you're creating. These emotions are like rocket fuel for your thoughts. But visualization alone isn't enough. You need to program your mind through autosuggestion. This means consciously feeding your subconscious mind with the thoughts and beliefs you want it to accept as true. Every day you're already using autosuggestion. The problem is, most people are using it negatively. They're constantly telling themselves why they can't succeed. I'm not smart enough, I don't have enough money, I don't know the right people, I'm too old, I'm too young. These become self-fulfilling prophecies. Successful people flip this script. They use autosuggestion to program themselves for success. They repeat positive affirmations about their goals and abilities. They tell themselves, I am successful, I am wealthy, I am capable of achieving anything I set my mind to. And here's the key. They repeat these affirmations with emotion and conviction until their subconscious accepts them as true. Your mind believes what you tell it most often, not what's necessarily true right now. If you tell yourself you're broke every day, your mind will find ways to keep you broke. If you tell yourself you're wealthy every day, your mind will start looking for ways to create wealth. But here's something crucial Hill discovered. General knowledge doesn't create wealth. Specialized knowledge does. The world is full of educated people who struggle financially. Why? Because they have general knowledge about many things, but specialized knowledge about nothing. Successful people become experts in their field. They don't try to know everything about everything. They focus on knowing everything about something specific. They become the go-to person for solving particular problems, and people pay premium prices for specialized solutions. Think about it. A general doctor makes good money, but a heart surgeon makes exceptional money. Why? Specialized knowledge. A general lawyer does well, but a corporate merger specialist makes millions. Specialized knowledge is the key. But here's what's even more important. You don't need to have all the specialized knowledge yourself. You need to know how to organize and direct specialized knowledge. The most successful people surround themselves with experts in different fields. They become the conductor of an orchestra of specialists. Henry Ford didn't know how to build cars, but he knew how to organize people who did. He surrounded himself with engineers, designers, and manufacturers. When critics called him ignorant, he famously said, I can hire all the knowledge I need. That's the power of organized, specialized knowledge. This brings us to one of Hill's most powerful concepts, the mastermind principle. No one achieves great success alone. Behind every successful person is a group of other successful people who support, advise, and collaborate with them. A mastermind group is two or more people working together in harmony toward a common goal. When minds come together in this way, they create a third mind that's more powerful than any individual mind. Ideas flow, solutions appear, opportunities multiply. But here's the secret most people miss. Your mastermind group doesn't have to be formal. It can be mentors, colleagues, friends, even family members who believe in your vision and support your goals. The key is surrounding yourself with people who think bigger than you do, who challenge you to grow, who refuse to let you settle for mediocrity. Successful people are extremely careful about who they spend time with. They know that you become like the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you're hanging around with people who complain about money, guess what? You'll start complaining about money too. If you surround yourself with people who are building wealth, You will start thinking like a wealth builder. Now let's talk about something that stops more people than anything else. Fear. Hill identified 6 basic fears that keep people from achieving success. Fear of poverty, fear of criticism, fear of ill health, fear of loss of love, fear of old age, and fear of death. These fears are like invisible chains. They hold you back from taking the risks necessary for success. They make you play it safe when you should be playing to win. They convince you to settle for less than you deserve. But here's what Hill discovered. Fear is just a state of mind. It's not real. It's something you create in your thoughts. And since you create it, you can also destroy it. The way to overcome fear is to replace it with faith. Faith in yourself, faith in your abilities, faith in your future. Successful people feel fear too. The difference is they don't let fear make the decisions. They feel the fear and take action anyway. They understand that on the other side of fear is everything they want. Think about it this way. Every time you've achieved something meaningful in your life, you probably had to overcome some fear first. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown. But you did it anyway. And what happened? You grew. You became stronger. You proved to yourself that you're capable of more than you thought. The same principle applies to financial success. You'll need to overcome fears about money, about taking risks, about stepping outside your comfort zone. But every time you push through fear, you expand your capacity for success. Hill also discovered that successful people have learned to make decisions quickly and change them slowly. Most people do the opposite. They take forever to make decisions, then change their minds at the first sign of difficulty. Indecision is one of the biggest killers of success. While you're trying to decide whether to start that business, someone else is already building it. While you're wondering if you should invest in yourself, someone else is already learning new skills. While you're debating whether to take that opportunity, someone else is already taking action. Successful people gather the information they need, make a decision, then commit to that decision until they have clear evidence that it's wrong. They don't second guess themselves constantly. They don't change direction every time they face a challenge. This doesn't mean being stubborn or ignoring feedback. It means having the courage to stick with your decisions long enough to see results. Most people give up just before they would have succeeded. They plant seeds, then dig them up every few days to see if they're growing. Success requires persistence. Hill studied hundreds of successful people and found that persistence was the one quality they all shared. They didn't give up when things got difficult. They didn't quit when people criticized them. They didn't stop when they faced setbacks. Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. But he didn't see them as failures. He saw them as learning experiences. He said, "I haven't failed. I have just found 1,000 ways that don't work." That's the mindset of persistence. But persistence without purpose is just stubbornness. Successful people persist because they have a burning desire to achieve their goals. They persist because they have faith in their ability to succeed. They persist because they understand that temporary defeat is not permanent failure. Here's something powerful Hill discovered. Your subconscious mind works 24 hours a day. Even when you're sleeping, it's processing information, making connections, and looking for solutions to your problems. But it can only work with the material you give it. If you feed your subconscious mind with clear goals, positive thoughts, and unwavering faith, it becomes your most powerful ally. It starts attracting opportunities, ideas, and people that can help you achieve your objectives. It's like having a personal assistant working round the clock to make your dreams come true. But if you feed it with doubt, fear, and negative thoughts, it works against you. It finds reasons why you can't succeed. It attracts problems and obstacles. It confirms your worst fears about yourself and your future. The choice is yours. Every thought you think is either programming your mind for success or failure. Every word you speak is either moving you closer to your goals or further away from them. Every action you take is either building the life you want or the life you don't. Hill's research revealed something incredible. The difference between successful and unsuccessful people isn't talent, education, or luck. It's how they think. Successful people have learned to control their thoughts, focus their minds, and direct their mental energy towards their goals. They understand that thoughts become things. They know that what they focus on expands. They realize that their current circumstances are simply the result of their past thinking, and their future circumstances will be the result of their current thinking. This is both empowering and terrifying. Empowering because it means you have complete control over your future. Terrifying because it means you are responsible for your current situation. No more blaming others, no more making excuses, no more playing the victim. But here's the beautiful thing about taking responsibility. Once you accept that you create your own reality through your thoughts, you realize you have the power to change that reality. You're not stuck. You're not limited by your past. You can literally think your way to a better future. The principles in Think and Grow Rich aren't just theory. They're practical tools that have been tested by thousands of successful people over nearly a century. They work if you work them, but they require commitment, consistency, and unwavering faith in yourself. Start today, right now. Decide what you want. Get specific, write it down, create a plan, take action, surround yourself with people who support your vision. Feed your mind with positive thoughts. Persist through challenges and never ever give up on your dreams. Remember, whatever your mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. The only question is, what are you going to conceive? What are you going to believe? What are you going to achieve? Your future is waiting. Your success is calling. The only thing standing between you and everything you want is the decision to think and grow rich. Make that decision today. Your life will never be the same.